Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, the 24th day of June. Now, yesterday I talked a little bit about the thriving Canadian gin scene, and I did a rare double feature. I tasted two Canadian gin products, very different. One from Nova Scotia, Steinhardt Gin, and the other was Georgian Bay Gin from, you guessed it, Georgian Bay. For today's tasting, I'm still in Ontario. As I just mentioned, there is a very happening gin scene right now, and it's happening right across Canada, with Ontario alone boasting over 20 distilleries right here in this province from east to west. Each making different styles, taking different approaches, and some of them even using some odd choices for their botanicals. Before we get started, do want to ask anyone that is not legally able to purchase or consume alcohol products where you live to stop watching the video, and it's time for us to say goodbye. For everybody else, we're off to Ontario's most beloved cottage country region, the Muskokas, for a taste of Muskoka Brewery's legendary Oddity Gin. Now, the Muskoka region is located about 2 hours north of Toronto, and it's home to the wildly popular Muskoka Brewery. Founded in 1996 by Gary Mullen and the late Kirk Evans, the initial purpose was to make excellent beer. And one can argue that they achieved their goal very quickly, as in 1996, their cream ale, their flagship beer, won the award for best beer in Canada. So suffice to say, these gents were committed to quality right out of the gates. In 2008, Bob McDonald and his family became partners in the brewery. However, make no mistake, Muskoka Brewery is still independently owned and independently operated. That allows for laser-like focus on maintaining quality production, and also allows for creative ideas to come to life. And that's exactly what happened in 2015 when these folks bought a still for distillation. After reaching out to a Stratford-based craft distiller, Junction 56, just to get some pointers and some help with distillation experimentation, Muskoka Brewery found success with their 10th recipe in 2017, and a gin was born. Now, what about that name? Legendary Oddity. Those of you that are familiar with Muskoka Brewery may recall their former seasonal Belgian strong ale that they used to make. It was called Legendary Oddity. And among the multitude of ingredients in the beer were botanicals such as juniper, rosehip, orange zest. These were all the same ingredients that found success with their 10th attempt at a recipe for gin. So they elected to borrow that name. And that makes sense. It's continuity of those ingredients, and it's a little step of connection between the products. They also went one step further in making their gin by incorporating Sorachi Ace hops into the mix. And hops, some of you may know, is often used in beer production. So this adds that additional citrus kind of profile and a touch of bitterness normally. So why did they choose gin as the product to make? Well, the team felt that gin allowed them more flexibility and creativity than some of the other alcohol products that can be distilled. Yes, of course, juniper has to be the main ingredient, and I've talked about that before in other videos. However, once you get away from juniper, it's pretty much a blank canvas as to what type of botanicals you can use and in incorporating into a gin. So having that freedom and already having common ingredients to make gin that were in their beer, like juniper and that orris root and citrus, they just said, that's it, it cements it, we're going to make gin. It's the right choice. So now, folks, it's time to taste the Cottage Country. So, clear product, water white, lovely bottle design too, very simple but elegant. Let's go in for a nose. So right away on the nose, I'd say it's medium level of intensity. Very pleasant citrus, hoppy. I can pick out the hops a bit. Soft, clean Jupiter notes. Flowery, floral, and orange, lemon, citrus kind of come through. There's some herbal tones in there, almost like a fresh grass. And then I get some bright spice like the coriander and maybe a bit of white pepper in there. Very nice on the nose. Okay, time to really taste now. Again, we coat the entire mouth, get all the flavor receptors firing. On the palate, it's light, it's bright, soft. Orange and lemon citrus abound with, it's almost like a mentholy, piney juniperness to it, but in a good way. Very soft. Fresh herbs. Just a touch of spice on the tip of my tongue. Almost a sweet factor in here. And I know that that's just going to be the perception of sweetness though. It's almost more like a sweet mouthfeel. And I say that because this gin is made in the London dry style. And if you recall from first week of June, I taught that London dry is a style. It doesn't have anything to do with geography. And it means that there is no sweetness in the gin. So the gin is dry, but it's that perception of sweetness. Overall, very nice. It's almost the hops in that, it's very interesting. The hops in that almost give you this flash, this instant of beerness to it. And it just lasts, and very, very quick moment. And it comes across as being very bright. The hops that they're using tend to add that citrus note, and the bitterness that I talked about. It's not a sour bitterness. It's a very bright and uplifting note. So very intriguing. Really interesting flavors in this one. The finish. Medium finish, soft, round mouthfeel, almost creamy, and gentle juniper, spice, and citrus notes just keep playing out. Alcohol by volume is only 40%. That helps with the smoothness of the gin. This is no doubt very versatile crowd pleaser right here, right from Muskoka. So, how can you find it? Well, there's always the LCBO here in Ontario. Stock number 634-857. Well priced, $45.15 per bottle. So very reasonable. You can also buy online from the brewery directly by visiting muskokabrewery.com. That's a great idea because that also allows you the opportunity to check out some of their other great products, such as the oak-rested version of the legendary Oddity. And for those of you that have not had an oak-aged or oak-rested gin, you got to try it. It's a real treat. You're missing out if you haven't had it. So, something to definitely consider. You can also check out their pink peppercorn gin that they're doing. Very creative, those folks at Muskoka. Of course, you can also check out the fine line of beer beverages that they have to offer, and you can find out more about their ready-to-drink initiative, which includes pre-mixed cocktail ideas and their very own hard sparkling water. So, definitely give their website a visit, muskokabrewery.com. Very simple, couldn't be easier. So folks, there you have it. Another very fine and distinctly unique Canadian gin. Definitely lots to be proud about with these Ontario Canadian distilled products these days. And it's coming at a time when buying local is more important now than ever. So I'm very happy to be able to showcase and share these products with you this week. Very happy to do so. Just before we say goodbye, I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in today. Don't forget, tomorrow, Thursday, June 25th, that'll be my last virtual product tasting for the month of June. And dear Lord, do I have a divine product in store for you guys. So tomorrow, Thursday, do not miss that. Also, this Friday, June 26th, I will be hosting my final Gi-Une Gin Cocktail Happy Hour live on Facebook. Be sure to mark your calendars, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends, grab your favorite cocktail, and join me as I make several drinks inspired by all the gins that I taste this week. Also, please continue to like and follow Somm for All on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Most importantly, folks, be safe out there, be well, and cheers from Somm for All.